They told us pistol braces were legal. Then they made millions of Americans felons overnight. Now, the ATF is raiding homes before sunrise, and one innocent man is dead. If you think government overreach can't reach your front door, think again.
Entryway. She could only see shadowy outlines of presumed home invaders standing in her front hallway. That's what Brian saw too. Brian fired a few shots at the intruders' feet to drive them back out of the front door. The ATF shot Brian in the head. His wife was standing. As she peered down towards the front entryway, she could only see shadowy outlines of presumed home invaders standing in her front hallway. That's what Brian saw too. Brian fired a few shots at the intruders' feet to drive them back out of the front door. The ATF shot Brian in the head. His wife was standing inches away from him. A mere 57 seconds. 57 seconds elapsed from the time agents covered the doorbell camera until gunshots erupted and Brian was fatally wounded. 6:02:46 to 6:03:43. Agents immediately dragged Mrs. Malinowski into the front yard. She was barefoot, wearing minimal night clothing, and the temperature was 34 degrees. They locked her in the back seat of a car and detained her there for 4 hours, refusing her many requests to check on her husband she had just seen shot, wouldn't allow her to get close or even use the neighbor's bathroom. Even though policies have been in place at both the ATF and the Little Rock Police Department for the past 3 years, requiring the use of body-worn cameras when executing any search warrant, the Department of Justice tells us that no body cameras were used. If this isn't the weaponization of government, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Mr. Dettelbach, we're going to have questions about this and a host of other things the ATF has done under your watch. A host of other things. We appreciate you being here today. We appreciate you taking our questions, but there's going to be tough questions from folks on our side. And we have a video I'd like to show, which just so it's a minute and a half, but it first shows ATF agents assembling in the Walmart parking lot a week before March 19th, when they were going to execute this search warrant. Again, pre-dawn hours a week before, but decided not to because they realized Mr. Malinowski wasn't home. And then it shows what happened a week later as they approached the Malinowski home. So let's run the video. Chair now recognizes the ranking member.
Welcome back to Jace Manoir. Before we dive into this bombshell, make sure you hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the truth the mainstream won't tell you. What we just witnessed in that hearing should send chills down every American's spine. The government, specifically the ATF, is no longer just enforcing laws, they're making them up as they go. And when unelected bureaucrats start rewriting the rules without Congress, liberty dies a little more each day. Let's be clear, Congress makes the laws. The executive branch enforces them. That's how the Constitution works. But the ATF decided they're above that. First, they flip-flopped on pistol braces, something they told disabled veterans for over a decade was perfectly legal. then turned around and said owning one makes you a felon overnight. Think about that. 12 years of law-abiding behavior, and suddenly you're a criminal. Because an unelected agency changed its mind. Then they started targeting law-abiding gun dealers. A simple clerical error on a form, a typo, gets treated like willful falsification. Licenses are being yanked left and right. Many dealers are so intimidated they're surrendering their licenses altogether, just to escape the constant harassment from the very agency that's supposed to help them comply with the law. And now they've gone even further, redefining who needs a federal firearms license. Since 1968, you only needed one if selling guns was your principal livelihood. Now the ATF says if you sell just one gun for a profit, even $10, you might be considered in the business and need a license. That is regulatory tyranny. There's no clear line, just subjective power in the hands of bureaucrats. And here's where it gets tragic. Brian Malinowski, a respected airport executive making over $250,000 a year, sold a few guns as a hobby. No warning, no cease and desist. Instead, at 6 a.m, 10 carloads of ATF and local police showed up in full SWAT gear to serve not an arrest warrant, just a search warrant. They cut the power, taped over his doorbell camera, smashed his door in before sunrise. Brian, thinking armed intruders were invading his home, grabbed his pistol and fired a few warning shots at their feet. In 57 seconds, ATF agents shot him dead in front of his wife. Then they dragged her outside barefoot in 34-degree weather, locked her in a car for 4 hours, and wouldn't even let her check on her dying husband. And here's the kicker. No body cameras were used, even though they were required. If this isn't the weaponization of government, what is? This is the real danger of unchecked federal power. When government stops fearing the people must start fearing government. And that's not how America is supposed to work. We either stand up now or watch our freedoms disappear, one midnight raid at a time. Don't let this story fade. Like this video, share it with everyone you know, and subscribe to Jace Manoir for the unfiltered truth, because if we stay silent, they win. Stay vigilant, stay free.